Hey Woodturners! Hey, I'm Captain Eddie Castle and welcome to my shop. A while back we did a little project. Remember this? Yeah, you remember that. We did this little flat box with that perforated lid. Very much like Heinz Weissflog does. Mine aren't as exact, they're not as fine, they're nowhere near as good, but I'm working on it. But I had a call from one of you guys that said, what if we did one on that joiner offset mandrel thing that Ruth Nile sells? You know, the lady that sells the stainless steel bottle stoppers, the really nice ones. Yeah, what happens if we did it on that one? So I went to work and I did that. And got one. And got one. Got one. Got a whole bunch of them. Well, still got the chuck up, so I'm going to show you what I did. And while I have the chuck up, I'm going to show you a couple other projects you can do on it. And I'll tell you more about that, but you know what you have to do? You got to watch. I'm going to go ahead and back up to the basics. This is the basic mandrel from Roof Joiner. It's got a drawbar through the headstock to pull this tight and eliminate the wobble and keep it in place. That's step one. And then this is in two parts. This is the faceplate that goes on it. The back is indexed offset holes. The number 1 through 8. And I think that's because there's 8 holes. Alright. We're going to put it on center to start with. And those offsets determine what you want it to look like. This is the other faceplate. You see those holes? Those are 24 indexing holes to help you rotate this around to change the patterns. And that's what we're going to do on one of our patterns today. But you put this little thumb screw, little finger screw really, through there. This thing is extremely well machined. Very well machined. And I say that because I know the machinist that made it, and I call him one of the best in the world. Really. So we put it in there, and quick spin tells me that's running true. This is a glue block I screwed on there. This glue block has got a depression in it, and that's the size I want to be today. The whole thing's on a glue block. I put them on with this double stick duct tape I get at Home Depot at Lowe's. Now I never clean that because that needs to have a little adhesive on it to make it stick better. But this stuff really does hold. Now we take a block of wood that we're going to work with and we put some of that double stick duct tape on it. This is really good stuff to work with. It's relatively easy as long as you can get past this part. That is getting a lift on that back corner. There we are. Getting it separated. Then we put it in that depression. That won't hold it. So what do? We push the tailstock up against it to hold it for about 15 minutes to get a good setting. We'll do that. We've let it set up about 15 minutes. This block is way too thick for what we want to do. So I'm going to move you in a little bit. So you can see as I take my D-weight parting tool and remove about half of that block. We saved this. We'll be using this again in a few minutes. Get my tailstock out of the way. I'm going to turn this around and I'm going to clean up that face using the fingernail grind gouge. I do like this. This is a 3/8 inch fingernail grind gouge. I've got that double, see that little double bevel on it? I removed that back meat because you never use it. Run a little bit high. Now, that's about where I want to be. Next is, I have to make it go loop, 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 loop. Watch how that happens. I lost power a minute ago and realized the power cord had come unplugged, but let me explain to you where we are. I moved it to one of the points off the center, and now I'm going to put a hole in the center, put a hole in it for the hanging hole. So I went ahead and marked it. You missed that part. I'm using a little tool Cindy Groza calls a vortex tool, but I just made a catch. Back to my detail gouge. Get that shaped up. Then I'm going to use this little tool. See the shape on it? Okay. Check our progress a little bit. We have a hole, it's off-centered. We have a little depression around the hole. And again, got a little vibration from the set screws, a little loose. But I'm in pretty good shape for the rest of it. Now, let's say we want to add some accents to this. We want to put a set of lines going across right here. And draw this in first, so you have an idea where you want to be and how you want it to be. Did you see that? Nope, you're too far away. Now, what I did was draw in those two lines. What we're going to do is put 4 lines on it, 2 from this point, 2 from another. Crank it up. Now I can see those lines. You can see those lines. See it? Right now. That looks nice, but to me it's boring. So let's take it off this center, and I'm going to undo the little set screws in the back to do it. And I'm going to move it maybe 35-40 degrees. Just 4 or 5 holes. Yeah, that'll work. It's got 24 holes. That means it's 15 degrees per hole. Now let's see what happens with that. Now we won't cut. What we'll do is we'll set the tool rest up to 0. Bring it a little closer. We'll put a couple of marks. See what happens. Alright, there's that. Let's go with this. Would that entertain you? What do you think? Want to play around with it? Yeah, well, let's play around with it then. Now I'm going to be crossing the other cut, so I'll bring the speed up. Can I see them? Yeah, there they are. So I have a little pattern on there. Now, go back to center, and then we'll sand that off. Okay? Basically, sand it, that's what it's going to look like. It's going to hang from here, and it's going to have the little grooves in it. I want to play with some resin on one and show you what you can do with resin, but I'm going to take my getter outer, move it off the tape, flip it around. Of course, I'm going to bring my center up to hold it again, let the tape set up for a few moments, and then we're going to turn off the back side and put maybe some striations around it. Okay, we've let this set up a little while. I'm going to pull the tailstock back. I'm going to go ahead and shape this up. It's way too thick, and that was done on purpose to use up the scrap of wood. Give me a little shoulder that I can work on. If the cut's too great, you'll put too much pressure on it and push it off the tape. That's the hole. We have to be a little bit deeper in order to get it out of there. And I want to soften this top corner a little bit. Get back over here and get another small bite. This little gouge will cut that larger bite, but I'm on tape, and I don't want to push it off the tape. Now there's my hole. Now, this side's kind of boring, isn't it? So I'm going to just go ahead and put some grooves in this side. Step one. Then step two is, again, it's a offset chuck, so I'm going to run out to one of these other holes, set it up, when I do this now, I can be crossing here, or here. So I'm just going to crank it up and you will see the shadows. Once it gets up to speed, you see it. Okay. Take two lines, make them into three. If it's too busy for you, just stop at two. Go back to the center. See how easy this thing changes? When you build your disc chuck, don't forget the groove for the taker-outer. For you wood turners who do the craft shows and the art fairs and the street festivals, and you peddle your goods, kudos to you guys, because that can supplement your income, and it's also aiding to your addiction in wood turning. It's better than just taking your retirement money and burying it in the backyard, okay? But you need something to pay that booth rent each time. You want something simple? Right there. See the little medallion? That little medallion, and you can color it. When you turn it, you can take a Sharpie Marks-A-Lot and color those lines in. You can sand it later and spray it with that real cheap, I thought I had a can of it right here, Ace Hardware clear. It's really great. Hang it, spray it. Hang it on a piece of wire, not on a rope. The rope with a string, that comes from Michael Arts and Crafts. And just look for some of the twine and sisal that they have for this kind of stuff. And make it a little bit longer than normal, because remember, they can always cut it off on a little kid, but you can't add on to it for a big kid. And put this out in your booth. You know, for $5, $6, using up a scrap of wood. And you can use any wood you have in your shop. The pretty stuff is really nice too and shows up nice. The junk stuff looks nice. Use up all your scraps. You're talking a few minutes and you're talking practice. That's the key. Every cut's a practice cut. And whenever you're out there and you're doing something like that, you do know that you're making shavings. I'm Captain Eddie Castellan. I might keep this one for myself. It's really cute. It does go with my outfit. What do you think? Matches my eyes? Huh? Come on. I didn't say anything cruel about it. You know, that's some nice patterns. They really are. Yeah. Oh, when you change it, have a little lacquer thinner to take the glue off the piece when it comes off, because that will attract the dirt off your fingers and your hands and make for a discoloration. Just rub it real quick and it goes away. I'm Captain Eddie Castellan. I'm making shavings. You take care. Booth rent. You gotta have something to pay the booth rent. I've got a whole bunch of Paduke outside. Boy, Paduke would look good. Almost forgot the disjoiner chuck, disjoiner offset mandrel, comes from Ruth Niles, who also sells wine bottle stoppers. And if you don't do wine bottle stoppers, if you don't believe in that, go ahead and put them out as olive oil stoppers. Yeah. And then play around a little bit with what you put on top, see what you can come up with. Ruth Niles, you need to get a hold of Ruth? This address, check her out. She's a nice lady. Call her with your order. She'll talk to you about it. See you later.